Hey guys, welcome back to the Photo Business Success Podcast. I'm your host, Morgan, with my co host, Megan. We are diving in today on our favorite business books for photographers. Here's the catch though, we don't know what each other picked. We both picked our top 3 books, and I have a feeling they're going to be different knowing our backgrounds. And I have a feeling like Megan's probably not going to like at least one of mine.
We
And
might
that's
fight it out, guys. Like, you might be privy to what it is actually like. Like, I feel like for the most part, we've agreed on all of our stuff, but like,
There's
they're
been a
about
few
to
times
get
we haven't.
they're about to get like the real of our friendship, where we
Yeah,
basically are sisters and we bicker all the time.
absolutely. Absolutely. It would only get more real if Matt was here for you to fight with as well.
I feel like if it's the three of us, he and I gang up on you, and if
That
it's
is also
just
true.
me and Matt, then it's always us against each
Against each
other.
other. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. That is true. Okay. So, Megan, do you want to go first?
Ooh, yeah. Okay. So this is I would say this is my top recommendation. I can't remember how long ago I read this, but it was such a needle mover for me, such a game changer. I think this would have been in like Christmas 2014 that
I
I
think I know
read
what
it,
this
and
is.
like 2015, if you remember anything of like the story that I've shared in the past, like 2015 was like the year that everything broke open for me in business. And so I attribute no small amount of success to this book. And I just want to shout out my friend Mike Alabach, who I can't remember the name of his business, but he's in Allentown, Pennsylvania, with a really cool boudoir business. He is the one who made this recommendation to me. I will never forget him for it. And that book is 7L. It's called the Seven Levels of Communication by Michael Marr. I think I'm saying his last name correctly. By the way, we're going to link all of these in the show notes below. They're not even affiliate links because we're genuinely too lazy for that.
Yeah.
So that book is it's. Are we going to give any explanation or no?
We can, yeah. We can give a little
Okay.
background.
I'll just give like my like one sentence on this book was it really helped me to switch from a transactional mindset with referrals, especially to because at that point, like everything was referral based for me, but it helped me to switch from transactional to relationship based. And yeah, like it was just like it was the game changer and my whole business changed.
Okay.
Morgan?
So, my first book that I'm going to recommend, and this is probably not that out there, but that's okay. I chose E Myth.
Okay.
Why can't I think of? I didn't even pick up to see who it's by.
Remember, is it Henry something or something
No,
Henry?
Michael Gerber,
Oh
I think
yeah, that's
what
right.
it says on my
Yeah.
shelf. Okay, so the reason I love eMyth is because it helps change you from somebody who worked in your business and doing like the everyday tasks to a business owner, and it even like moves you above the level of a manager and helps you really get perspective on like what you should be working on and what you should not be working on. So this was a really big game changer for me. I had already like known the concept, but once I read it, it nailed it for me.
It moves everything from like this ethereal, I know I should be doing
Yeah.
to like, here's how I become that.
Yeah, absolutely. Next one, Megan.
My second one, and this is my current favorite business book author. However, this book is a mindset book. This is a newer one. So I didn't even have a photography business when this came out. This is Be Your Future Self Now by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Dr. Benjamin Hardy is my all time favorite business author. He has this really astonishing way of making big concepts very easy to understand. So I can't remember if he's a behavioral psychologist or organizational psychologist, but he's just an incredible, very well educated man who who became an entrepreneur, and I think is like a lot of us. He's like a family man who is very devoted to getting that time with his kids, maintaining his marriage, wanting to have not I don't like the term work-life balance, maintain a healthy business that supports his
Family.
healthy family relationships. And Be Your Future Self Now is the book that if I had had it 20 years ago, it would have completely reshaped the way that I live my life. It's one of those that I actually regularly turn back to it to read a chapter. It's an incredible audiobook if you're more of an audiobook person. And yeah, for me, I think if you read the first chapter, it'll hook you. And it should be like a really easy book to read over this holiday season or over your slow season. And by the way, that's something we probably didn't say is like, this is the best time to be taking advantage of reading recommendations. You don't have to
Yeah.
read all of these. Pick one or two to start with and
Mhm.
like see where that takes you, implement it, integrate it into who you
Yeah.
are and how you are doing business. So yeah, that's my second one. How about you, Morgan?
Okay, so my second one is probably one of my favorite books that I've ever read. And that's saying a lot because since I've met Megan, I've started reading a lot more. And it's the book that really changed my business and changed my outlook. And that's Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Yeah. So this book is basically it's my like kick in the butt that I need whenever I'm like feeling down about myself and I'm like, why am I not booking all of these things? And I like so I go and I literally what's making me so mad is I don't know where my copy of it is. I just know the book inside and out at this point. I just need to order another one. It's probably in my house somewhere. But it's my absolute favorite book. It's really going to help like kick you into gear when and it teaches you like how to find new clients without waiting for people to come to you, which I think is a big misconception in
Mhm.
the photography industry and like creative industry in general is like waiting for people to come to you. So Fanatical Prospecting is uh, my all-time favorite book. So that's my second recommendation.
Amazing. What was your first one again?
E-Myth.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that leads me to my third. And I kind of stewed over this one. This is the one that I, it's easy to pick your first and usually your second. But that third one is like, oh, okay. Like I really only have, it's sort of your desert island book. Like I could only, if there were only three books that I could recommend to photographers, like what would that third one be?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that book is Storyworthy by Matthew Dix.
I'm not shocked. It's literally, I only moved it off of my desk to my shelf yesterday because I had stuff everywhere.
It was so with emotional ups and downs. As soon as I switched to everything being about my client, I had clarity. I did not waver. Like I wasn't vacillating back and forth on like what my brand colors should be or what photos to use or whatever. It just like it was so apparent, and the way that clients responded to my photos was different, and the way that people responded to me was different. The My ability to book weddings changed because it was like not about my story or even why I was in photography and how that related to them. It was like just completely about them. The book Storyworthy is, I think, just like perfect for photographers because we are storytellers. At our core, we are storytellers. So this book is about how to tell stories in a way that relates to your audience. And
Mhm.
so for me, this is like a must read. Once I landed on it, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, like that is for sure. Like these are the three books that every photographer must read. And by the way, the other thing about it is like it doesn't seem like a marketing book or a sales book, but to me it is the ultimate
Oh,
marketing
yeah.
book and the ultimate sales book because it completely taught me how to, sorry, not the book, but when I switched from me focused business to client focused business, all became easier to market and sell. So that's mine. And on to you, Morgan, on the controversial one.
Yeah, I have a feeling not going to like this one as much, but I think it's an important read for photographers. My last one is Giftology. And
Okay.
okay, look, I was between that and I was between like that Culture Code and one of the Audible books that's not like there's no.
Oh, we can do that as an honorable mention. Do you want to do
Yeah,
that? I know what one you're talking about. I'll look it up while you're telling them
yeah.
about
Okay.
Giftology.
So the reason I picked Giftology is because I have seen so many photographers in Facebook groups be like, so I want to do a client gift. Is this a good option? And I'm like, no, what are you doing? Like, they don't care if they have a water bottle with your logo on it or, things like that. So Giftology teaches you how to give good gifts that your clients will want to receive and will keep thinking about you over and over again. Actually, one of our friends is friends with the author. Fun fact for you, Heather is friends with
Yes,
the
I know.
author. But it's a good book to read if you're trying to figure out what to do for your clients and like make an impact in their lives. I think it's like it's a quick read, like just a quick over for you guys to learn something that will be able to be implemented into your business. So I chose it for that reason, just because this is a time where a lot of people are like rethinking client gifts, and like your clients don't want your vow book. So
Yeah.
that's all I have to say.
I in defense of this, I guess like part of why I roll my eyes at it is that it seems obvious to me that like a gift is not your client magazine. It's not a
Right.
sweatshirt with your name on it or whatever. But I guess we still live in an age when like you're going to send your couple Mr. and Mrs. coffee mugs that have your logo on them. And like,
Right.
okay, your logo that, by the way, you're constantly redesigning. Okay, make it make sense. So yeah, I think what's funny is it actually goes along really well with my third recommendation, which is like
Yeah.
stop making things about you, make
Yeah.
it about your client.
Exactly.
Okay, so your bonus book, I had a bonus book that I thought of while you were sharing one of yours. So I'm going to share mine and then I'll
Okay.
tell you yours and you can tell you why. Okay, so mine was Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Yeah.
He was an FBI negotiator, and again, I think that one of the areas where photographers tend to feel really like they lack confidence is in negotiation and in feeling confident around the price that they are commanding or not commanding in a lot of cases. And so Never Split the Difference, I think, is like, it's a super fun read. Chris Voss is so engaging. If you're on TikTok, you've probably even like seen him on TikTok. I'm sure he's on other social media platforms too, but I don't do those. And so yeah, for me, that's like a really good one. I actually read Fanatical Prospecting and Never Split the Difference at the same time. And so in my
Oh my
mind,
gosh.
they're like,
The same book.
they're the same book. And they're like totally not, but it's
They're
just like
totally not.
they're like they melded together perfectly. And yeah. And so
That's
that
like
was just like
that's a great. Those are two great books to read together at the same time. Oh my gosh.
it was a dream. I think it like reshaped my whole brain. So yeah.
See, that's
Um
how I feel about fanatical prospecting and culture code.
Interesting. And Culture Code, I can't remember, did I recommend it to you or did
I
you?
recommended it to you. That was
Okay. And yeah, that's a good one. Maybe we can do a separate conversation about that another time.
yeah. When
Your
we talk
bonus
about building
one,
a team.
yeah. And I think at the time it was more applicable to you in terms of building a group. And actually, no, you recommended it to me or you told me about it because you were like, hey, your methodology for building groups is like straight out of this book.
Mhm.
So, okay, your bonus one is Exactly What to Say by Phil M. Jones. Is that
Yeah,
it?
well, both of his books. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the one that's Audible only.
The other one, there's a
The
physical
other
one of
one,
the other one.
the other one is an actual book, I'm pretty sure. But you should tell people about that one while I look. Oh, no, no, no. And now I can't remember how how to persuade and get paid.
They paid.
That's the one that is, yeah, How to Persuade and Get Paid is the one that's Audible only. That's
Okay.
the good one. And
Yeah.
also, by the way, was recommended to me by Mike Alabach. So
Okay, so How to Persuade and Get Paid is like one of my favorite books, and I need to re-listen to it again. And I don't know if there's a physical version. If there is, I need to buy
there
it.
isn't.
No, it says Audible original.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
it's
mix
on
them up.
Audible. It's on Audible. It's a really easy listen. I want to say it's like a 2-3 hour book or something like that. If you listen on like 1.5 or something, and it's really teaching you techniques on sales and like how to be a good salesperson. And I absolutely love it. It was one of the first books that I read, listened to, whatever you want to say, on sales. And it was a very like easy, tangible one, but really made an impact on me. So I highly recommend that book if you're wanting something that's like an easy to digest book and you want to improve your sales. Because I think a lot of photographers forget that we are salespeople. And that's a really important part of our jobs. And yeah,
I
that's
think How to Persuade and Get Paid was maybe like one of the first books that helped me flip the switch in my mind that sale that not really. I guess I already gotten on this train, but it was the first book that I had read that talked about sales as service that made me
mhm,
feel like me being good at sales is actually a good service. Me being good at sales doesn't mean I'm going to be slimy and just make sales to everybody, but it helped me to really realize that like me being good at sales helps other people make the right decision for themselves, whether
yep,
that's me or not. So
absolutely.
yeah.
So
So
those
that was 8 books for you to read in your, just read one a week during your slow season. So yeah, no
or you
big
could
deal.
plan on reading like
One a month.
one a month for next year. And if you need 4 more books, we will be happy to give them to you. We
Yeah.
have you can see Megan's bookshelf behind her. You can't see mine because it's off to my right, but we both have plenty of
Between
books.
us, we probably read 250 books a year.
Yeah, probably. This year's been a little slow for me, but yeah, absolutely. I had a kid though, so she's a
Yeah.
wild child. So, but perfect. Anything else before we sign off, Megan?
No, we'll just make sure that we link to all of these in the show notes so that you
Yep.
can find them for yourselves. One more thing would be don't cheat yourself out of a book or out of reading because you're like somebody else got in your head and said that like Audible isn't reading or whatever. Honestly, like read the way that is best for
Best for
you.
you.
And I just think that like too often we let other people dictate, like they place ceilings on us and we're like, okay, I guess I'll live under this ceiling. And we don't want that for you. We really want you to, like, you are responsible for your own growth. You're responsible
Mhm.
to your family. You're responsible to yourself to be the absolute best that you can be. And like if that means listening to Audible or audiobooks in general, like do that. By the way, if you can't afford these, like you can check them out at your library. Most of you have access to a bunch of like digital and audio books just through your library,
Yep.
through like the Libby app or
Yeah.
the, I think it's called, oh, do you say Overdrive? Yeah.
No, I said Libby.
Oh, Libby, and I think Overdrive is the other one, but I can't remember. So, like, honestly, do that for yourself because it's a game changer. You don't have to go spend $100 on books to change your life. Like, literally start with one of these, get it at the
You can
library.
also check at a used bookstore.
Yes.
A lot of mine are from like if you're in the Nashville area or Knoxville. They have a few different stores, but McKay's is fantastic. All of mine, like most of my books, have McKay's stickers all over them
And there are
because
online like discount bookshops where like store bought too many and they like ended up reselling them basically back to these like discount. I think one is like discountbooksellers.com maybe. Anyway, look on there, look on eBay. You can buy the used copies on Amazon.
there's also thriftbooks.com.
Yes.
It's very inexpensive as well, unless you're looking for this one book that Megan and I are trying to get our hands on. So
You mean
yeah,
I
it's
have it.
great leads. If anybody has great leads and would like to sell it to
Oh,
me, please let me know.
yeah, no, find that. You're not
I
going to find
know.
it.
So, but we'll end there. Thanks so much for joining us today. We will link to all the books in the show notes along with our wedding multiplier toolkit and our Facebook group for you to join. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. And please rate and review and share the podcast. It helps us so much. We're not doing this for money. We're literally taking time out of our days to spread this information that we've learned. And so we would just love to connect with other people. So I think that's all. So we'll talk to you guys next Wednesday. Bye.